Hello, I'm Skye. There's a message circulating right now that sounds calm, disciplined, and wise on the surface. It tells people to stay silent, disappear, stop explaining themselves, and rebuild quietly while the rest of the world exhausts itself in noise. That message is resonating because many people are overwhelmed. Attention is fragmented. Everything feels reactive. Silence feels like relief. But relief is not the same thing as clarity. Silence can protect focus, but it can also hide avoidance. And that distinction matters, especially right now. To examine what's actually happening beneath this cultural trend, I'm handing things over to Qlaire, our intelligence and situational awareness layer.
Thank you, Skye. Silence has become fashionable because cognitive overload has become constant. People are saturated by feeds, opinions, performance, and the pressure to respond immediately. In that environment, silence feels like control. But silence itself is not strength. Silence is a tool, and like any tool, it can either build clarity or conceal fear, avoidance, and withdrawal. Historically, restraint mattered, but restraint never meant erasing yourself from the world. When Stoicism is invoked, it is often misunderstood. Marcus Aurelius did not disappear. He ruled an empire, managed crises, commanded armies, navigated politics, and still wrote privately to discipline his own thinking. His silence was internal, not social. It was clarity of judgment, not retreat from responsibility. Stoicism was never about becoming invisible. It was about becoming unshakable while remaining present. Modern interpretations flatten that nuance. Silence is reframed as moral superiority. Speaking is treated as weakness. Visibility is treated as vanity. History does not support that inversion. Influence has never belonged to those who vanished. It belonged to those who understood timing, when to speak, when to withhold, and when to act. Power does not come from absence. It comes from selective presence. Research in social psychology supports this pattern. Credibility increases with clarity, timing, and consistency, not with silence alone. Strategic silence reinforces authority. Indiscriminate silence dissolves it. The same oversimplification appears in the directive to focus only on yourself. Comparison can distort perception, especially in algorithmic environments designed to reward spectacle over substance. But isolation is not the cure. Human progress does not occur in a vacuum. Growth happens through interaction, feedback, and friction. Science advances through peer review. Craft evolves through mentorship. Leadership emerges through negotiation and resistance. The objective is not to stop observing others. The objective is to stop outsourcing your sense of worth to them. Solitude is essential, but it is frequently misused. Solitude sharpens thinking, clarifies motives, and enables long-range planning. Neuroscience shows reduced stimulation is critical for insight and synthesis. But solitude is a season, not a destination. The same solitude that builds clarity can harden into withdrawal if it never reconnects to action. Withdrawal feels like control at first. Over time, it becomes stagnation. The idea that the one who reacts loses is incomplete. Uncontrolled reaction loses. Delayed, intentional response wins. Emotional regulation is not emotional absence. Stoicism never taught numbness. It taught command over impulse. Some reactions weaken position. Others establish boundaries or prevent harm. Discipline remains non-negotiable. Consistency outperforms intensity. Structure outlasts motivation, but discipline does not require secrecy. Silence does not create discipline. Systems do, schedules do, constraints do, feedback loops do. The same applies to explanation and boundaries. Over-explaining weakens posture, but explanation is not submission. In organizations, explanation creates coordination. In leadership, it creates alignment. Boundaries are not silence. Boundaries are visible lines. Pain is also romanticized in this narrative. Pain can be fuel, but it cannot be an identity. Unprocessed pain does not transform itself through isolation. It calcifies. Growth occurs when pain is converted into insight, boundaries, and behavior change. This leads directly into 2026. 2026 will challenge people not because they speak too much, but because cognitive load is accelerating. Artificial intelligence is compressing decision cycles. Information volume continues to outpace human attention. Institutions are adapting more slowly than individuals are expected to. The dividing line will not be loud versus quiet. It will be reactive versus intentional. People who disappear entirely will lose relevance and leverage. People who react impulsively will lose stability. The advantage will belong to those who can move deliberately between silence and speech, who can withdraw to think and return to act with clarity. The greatest risk ahead is fragmentation, fragmented attention and identity values. Those who thrive will integrate thought, word, and action into a coherent operating system. Silence is useful, focus is essential, discipline is mandatory, but disappearance is not growth, and silence is not virtue by default. The real power move is knowing when to speak, why to act, and where to place your energy. Thank you.
Thank you, Qlaire. The takeaway is straightforward. Silence and speech are tools. Used deliberately, they protect clarity and enable action. Used blindly, they lead to isolation and stagnation. If this helped you see the larger pattern behind the trend, let us know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay connected as we continue exploring how people and systems adapt in an increasingly complex world. We'll see you next time.